Hello and welcome to Talk Games Match Preview. I'm Nottingham Forest against West Ham United. Gonzo match day 3, trying to avoid 3 defeats on the trot. Will we do it? We'll discuss it later on in the video. But for now, I want to know your thoughts on Forest, please.
Yeah, a team, well, with a certain amount of turmoil, certain amount of uncertainty. Well, a club, not the team. I think that the team should be separated from the club. They had the uncertainty of which European competition were they going to qualify for, and in fact, they've just had that European derby, haven't they, with Crystal Palace, of course, just recently. Then you've had, it's been quite dramatic actually. So you had the owner playing hardball with Tottenham over Morgan Gibbs-White. Looked like they were going to lose Morgan Gibbs-White. Then he ends up signing a new deal, which I thought was just beautifully played. I know he's not popular, the owner. I understand that, but I wish our owners would have done a bit of what he'd done, to be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't have any complaints at all. I think he's unpopular, but I think he's doing a grand job, really. Then you've also had someone that might not agree with me. It's Nuno Espírito Santo, who was very public, really, in about his disagreement or falling out, if you want, with the owner. But then, when he was questioned ahead of last weekend's game if he still wanted to be Nottingham Forest manager, he said, "Yeah, of course," like that, like it wasn't a pertinent question. It was a pertinent question, but he answered it like he hadn't indicated the other stuff before. So it indicated there was no context, but there was plenty of context. I think it was a reasonable question for the journalist to ask. On the pitch, look good, mate. Look good. Everything. I like everything about them. I like the style of football they play. I like the balance of the team. There's nothing not to like, actually, about Nottingham Forest as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, a well-run, ambitious club showing ambition this summer. They've got into European football. They've got into Europa League thanks to Crystal Palace, but they're in the they're in the Conference League anyway. It's not like they've gone from no European football to European football. They've qualified for European football on merit. They've just been promoted due to Crystal Palace. And they're a club that looks like they are going to stick around as to where they currently are. They don't look like a team that's going to now finish. They're going to have their moment and then fade away. They're there and they're making the most of it, and they're building that squad as quickly as they can so that they can compete on all 4 competitions, but also get back into European football very, very quickly as well. Marinakis, as soon as he arrived and as soon as he got promoted, it wasn't like, oh, let's just stay in the Premier League. It's like, oh, we're going up and then we're going to keep on going and we're going after the European spots and stuff. And he's a man of his word. I will say that. He talks the talk, but he does walk the walk as well. And I think it's easy to do the first part of it, which is speak of ambition and suggest ambition, but delivering it's a completely different thing. And I think he's starting to do the latter as well. So he's been very loud with that. But when you follow it up with your actions, it justifies that. So if next time you speak and it comes across as ambitious, why not? He can do that. And I know what you're saying when you mean unpopular. I'd imagine he's very popular within the Nottingham Forest fan base and very unpopular outside it. But I like that. I compare it to the equivalent of like having a Marko Natovic in your team. It's one of those players that no one likes to play against, but when he's at your club, you love him. And I think he's the owner of that bastard. I think he's the owner version of a bastard football player that everyone hates, but you need one in your team, actually. I like Nottingham Forest a lot, actually. And Marinakis is a little bit wild and crazy at times. And the Morgan Gibbs-White thing was quite funny. Like the announcement video that Marinakis just stood there watching him. And he's like, oh, well, thanks to Mr. Marinakis for signing a new contract. No, it looked like a hostage video.
It absolutely.
It looked like he'd been kidnapped. But...
Yeah. He handled Daniel Levy well, and that's all they'll care about. The contrast to us is unbelievable.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the winners were Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
The football club won. They kept their best player, who signed a new contract. They told Spurs to do one, and they sent a message to them, which is, you don't take the piss out of Nottingham Forest. We are not a soft touch. You can want what you want and think what you want, but you're doing things on our terms. Newcastle got it as well when they wanted a land guy. It was like, it's 55 billion or do one. It was all right, we'll stump up and pay that 55 million eventually. Yeah, I've only got good things to say. In regards to the Nuno thing, how do you see this one playing out? Would you be concerned, or do you think it's just a little thing that they can smooth out?
Look, when you work in football, when you work in any big company where you're dealing with loads of people, you are going to get people that you don't get on with. You put
Yep.
30 people in a room together and not everyone's going to get along with each other. Is it ideal if one of the people you don't get along with is your boss? No. But there are plenty of people who have actually, well, not just done okay, thrived under such circumstances. You know, there's plenty of people that haven't liked their boss. There's plenty of people who haven't liked their teammates. I mean, I remember, was it Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole at Man United hated each other. They did all right. To be effective at work is fine. It's too good a team and it's too good a project for a manager like that to walk away from. Yes, he was linked with West Ham. It'd have been absolutely bonkers, right? To have done so, because what he would have done, he'd have left a team that's really well balanced, that he's helped build, and I'm sure Marinakis, or whatever his name is, as also will feel that he's helped build it. But I'm telling you now, he would be walking away from one controlling, unlikable owner just to go and work with another one. The difference being one of them is effective and the other one is ineffective, and he wouldn't have had the infrastructure around him or the squad around him that he's got in Nottingham Forest. I suspect he'll sweat it out, and I think he should. He's got a real chance to prove himself in Europe. Grin and bear it. He's already that thing that you showed. You mentioned about Walker Peters. All about ego. It's all about ego. He wanted to be seen as the saviour. You got to blow smoke up his arse, quite frankly. You've got to make him feel important. You probably want to say yes, Mr. Marinakis. I can't even say bloody name. It's a good job I'm not having to say it. You're going to have to just play the game. Play the game is what I'd say. Make him feel loved. Make him feel that he's doing you a favour. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do with people like that. Oh, thank you very much for the job, and do what you've got to do. Distance yourself, then go about your business. Keep building a brilliant team. Go and prove yourself in Europe. Go and prove yourself in the Premier League, and don't let the fact that you don't get on with your boss get in the way. Don't let your pride get in the way of a really, really good job. That's what I would say to him.
Yeah, I think it's more Edu than Marinakis that's upset him. I think pre-Edu, which was pre this summer, I think he spoke. It actually felt a little bit familiar to Moyes, Steiden, and Sullivan for me when all this came out, because before Edu, it was Nuno, and then there was Marinakis, and I think they spoke every single day, and I think Nuno was involved in a lot of stuff. And then Edu's come in, and I think it's always been the plan to get Edu for Marinakis. He's gone in now, and it's not just a Nottingham Forest job. I think he's in charge of the footballing operation rather than just Nottingham Forest. And I think he's now in between the two, and therefore Nuno doesn't always speak to Marinakis on a daily basis. I think some transfers Edu's maybe a little bit more in charge of than what Nuno is. So I think it's just a change of work environment that he's maybe struggling with a little bit. And we had similar at West Ham when Steiden came in. It was sort of like a manager that wanted control was told, you're not getting as much control anymore. This guy's here. And he's like, hang on a minute, I'm not keen on this. And we know how that ended up. And I don't think Nottingham Forest will do that, because Marinakis, unlike Sullivan, won't allow it to become a big problem. If it's become a bit of a problem, I've got a feeling that will be getting resolved very, very quickly. Marinakis won't just leave Edu and Nuno to have no relationship in for it to impact the entire club. He'll say, right, let's get this dealt with. Either you two need to kiss and make up, or find a way of working together, and we all move forward, or something's going to have to happen here. Whereas at West Ham, our owner just pretended nothing was happening. The manager left, and then he got rid of the other guy anyway. So that a year later, neither of them were here. So it's like picking back one, which one you back in. Sullivan back neither. They both left, and now we're in this situation. I don't think that will happen at Nottingham Forest. In terms of proving yourself in European football, was something you said that lines there. Do you think they will this season?
Yeah, I think they will. I think there's so much money in the Premier League now that the standard, I feel, is improving all the time. I think they're a hugely balanced team. I think they've got some European experience in the team anyway. But the younger players there are European pedigree. You feel like Anderson and Gibbs White are European pedigree players, in that sense. So, yeah, I don't see any problem. They get out of the group. I don't see any problem at all.
Yeah, I think they'll go far. Let's do some predictions then. Nottingham Forest. I want to know where you think they'll finish in the Premier League and how they'll get on in European football. Not just get out of the group. I want a more of a precise prediction.
I'll give you. I'll do it all. Did they win in the? Oh no, they're not in. Of course, next round. Okay, right. So, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup.
Right. Okay. This is a bold prediction already.
Wait, you just said no fanny in about. Well, you didn't quite say that, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, what did I just say? Quarterfinals of.
You just said semi-finals of the Carabao Cup.
Semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Quarterfinals. Almost like I'm making it up as I go along, and I don't really know what's going to happen. Quarterfinals of the Europos Cupos, 8th in the Premier League, and. First round out the third round, first FA Cup game they're out. I'm sorry, Forest fans.
I was going so promising.
It was. It might not happen. I'm not like Mystic Meg. I'm not the Oracle or anything. I just don't know what I'm talking about. Basically,
I reckon they go out early doors, and I don't even know who they've got in the Carabao Cup. I didn't even look at the draw. The whole thing's an absolute scam since they've changed the fixtures so that the European teams have to stay apart and stuff like that. And I get why. I understand why they have to stay apart because of scheduling, but it's just ridiculous that the teams playing European football in England don't play each other in the early rounds of the Carabao Cup. It's just nonsense. Just don't let them in the Carabao Cup. Just let the Carabao Cup be for the teams not in European football and help the schedule of those clubs that are anyway. So I'm going to say to go out in the next round of the Carabao Cup. I reckon maybe 9th in the Premier League. I think semi-finals of the Europa League and FA Cup, I don't know, last 16 or something. I think they'll have a strong season, but they could have big success in that European football. Okay. Last question, as always, players you admire?
All of them. It's just such a balanced team.
Always been a big fan of Wood, haven't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Not too frequent these days, it has to be said.
Old age.
That's right. I really, by the way, you've seen it in both games. This will cause us problems. In the first game against Brentford, really beautiful early first ball played through from Anderson, played the ball, and then they repeated the trick in the game against Crystal Palace. And if someone passed the ball to Hudson-Odoi, first time ping. This is my kind of football. I don't mean I can play that kind of football. If I would like my team to play like this. I love the direct stuff, not Hoofenstein, but this direct. Cutting stuff. Love it, actually. Love it. Gibbs White is playing with his woodpecker up, actually, funny enough. Yeah, well, the centre backs, everything. What's not to like? They got it all, really.
Yeah, you've got a lot of talent left, right, back to front, and on the bench as well. They've got talent everywhere at the minute. I've been very impressed by their transfer window at Nottingham Forest. Elliot Anderson's my number one as well. I think he's he's still underrated. I think this season he'll get the plaudits he deserves. I think he'll be on that plane to the World Cup as well. I think he's an absolute fantastic midfielder. He's just got everything. Yeah, he's just got absolutely everything that you want. He had a really strong summer with England. I think he was brilliant last season for Nottingham Forest. I think he's probably going to step up another level as well. I think he is capable of being an elite central midfielder. And this is where Newcastle will damn PSR, because that's the player, one of the two players they had to let go because of PSR. And look what they've just missed out on, because he is unbelievable. Marinakis has been one of the best signings in Premier League, in the last 14 months or whatever it was. Him and Murillo are my favourite partnership in terms of a centre-back partnership in the Premier League. But a lot of talent at Nottingham Forest. Well, we'll talk about our talent now.
Yeah, shouldn't take long.
Let's do some team news. George Earthy's back in training. Remains to be unseen. This game's thought to be one too soon, but after the international break, we could perhaps expect to see him. Somerville the same, although we haven't had much new updates since we were told he's targeting the Spurs game. Wan-Bissaka missed a game during the week. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what happened to him. Do you know? Have you heard or seen anything?
I haven't heard a thing. No,
you can have him for the preview. We'll just assume that he just couldn't be arsed and he was left at home. If West Ham sign any new signings before 12 o'clock tomorrow, they're eligible to play. So for the sake of the preview, for a bit of fun, Gonzo, I'm going to say you can have Magassa and Fernandez with the assumption they both sign. Now, obviously, people watching this might be watching this on Friday night going, hang on a minute, they're not signed or something's happened. West Ham messed up.
I've signed a Spurs. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. We're recording this and in the afternoon on Thursday. So we're just going to assume everything goes well today and they become West Ham players before that deadline tomorrow. Therefore, can be included because I think it'll be interesting to see what you want to do if both players are available. I think I know what you're going to do. I think we're going to have very similar 11s here. But
well, they need to do it because I need to record. As you know, I'm going out this evening. I need to record my reveal video.
Pardon? Rude.
Again. There you go. So, I'm banking on it, really. Anyway,
on Sunday it's Chris Wood. Tomorrow it's Gonzo Wood.
Absolutely, yeah, it is. Oh dear. Anyway,
on Monday it's would he sack him?
Yeah. Sorry, yes. And I can answer that. I would.
Anyway, right. This is the 11s we would like to see.
There you go. Yes,
I think our outfield 10s are going to match. I'm not sure about the goalkeeper.
Now.
Yeah,
this is the easiest. This is the easiest tap-in I've had for a long time in terms of a team. I think.
In goal, who would you go for?
Areola.
I would go Hermansen.
That's really done. Oh, you said outfield. To be fair,
yeah. Okay. I thought we would maybe.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for Areola?
I don't really have one. You could convince me either way. To be fair, I don't. I could say I've got reasons for. I'll tell you my overall reasoning. So I've gone into character for this one. So I am Graham Potter, and I am desperate to save my job, and I'm annoyed with the players that I've been loyal to because they've let me down. I feel I'm going to get sacked if I don't beat Nottingham Forest. So it's one last desperate throw of the dice. Yeah, that's my thinking here. I don't think this will happen, but this is my mindset.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not in character. This is just the team I would pick if I was West Ham manager. Hermansen for me. But I don't know, actually, because no, I am going to switch up to Areola. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because Forest are good at crossing it, and that was his weakness at Leicester. And it's already been exposed, and he's already, any confidence he did have has already had a bit of a kick in here. So I think, and I don't think Areola is good at crosses, but I don't think pre-season Man U aside where he decided to rugby tackle heaven from behind, he hasn't caused us any bother at crosses, Areola. He just doesn't come for them. That's the problem. But if you don't come for them, you can't spill it, right? So I think maybe Areola for this one. If it wasn't a team that I feared as much as I do for crosses, I'd perhaps go with Hermansen, but I do worry about defending these set pieces, especially if Douglas Luiz starts as well. I think they might just go up a level. Saying that Elliot Anderson's very capable since someone left, Alanga, maybe. I think there was a different set piece taker at Nottingham Forest last season. Could be wrong. Anyway, into the back. Well, the defence. I don't know how many are you going for. You're Mr. Potter. What are you going for, Mr. Potter?
I can't even read my own writing. I sort of misread that as Obiang at right back, but that would be impossible.
Maybe you need to zoom out.
Quite right. So that's, and I have done, and now I can see it actually doesn't say Obiang at all. It says Wan-Bissaka, which is why I was confused. So Obi-Wan at right back, Todibo and Mavropanos as central defenders, and Day Walker-Peters at left back.
Well, we've got two of the three. Three of the four matching and two players out of position. So I've gone with Walker-Peters at right back And I've also gone with Mavropanos and a Gerd centre-back. Now, if anyone wants someone else to play instead of a Gerd, I'm not going to argue with you, okay? Todibo, Gerd, Kilman, take your pick. Honestly, I'm not arsed, right? I don't think there's much between the three of them. I don't trust any of them, but I do have more trust and more faith in Mavropanos than the other three. So he starts. It's just a case of choose your fighter to go next to him and pray they do all right. The reason I opted for a Gerd is because I think he's got that pace, and I think that Nottingham Forest are good on the counter attack, and you may just need that little bit of.
You're right. Andy's left-footed. I'm switching it round. See, we've both changed our minds already. See,
we might have a match in an outfield 10 after all.
Okay, yes. So I'll go Mavropanos, a Gerd, Walker Peters, and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, I agree. Right, into midfield then. What you got?
I'm going. Look. You've got to do it. He's got to do it. He's got to save his bacon, quite frankly. Magassa, Fernandez, Paqueta.
You do like your shiny new toys, don't you, Mr. Potter?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I do. I'm not sure Mr. Potter does, and I think it could cost him. I think he may go with the trusted.
He threw Hermansen in after one training session.
Okay.
Like a goalkeeper with his new defence, boom, straight in there. He did it, didn't? Well, it was more than one, wasn't it? It was a week he had. He had a week with on training camp, but Hermansen went straight in.
Okay.
Jeff's gone straight in, albeit he's had a pre-season with us.
That's true. But it's the Ward-Prowse thing. I can't imagine him dropping Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, that, and you've also got the Evan Ferguson thing, which is he didn't go in at all.
That's true. Oh dear.
So there is an Evan Ferguson thing there if you want to use it against me. Walker, Peters, and Wilson, I'm not including because I don't think they're his signings.
Yeah.
So I don't see them not going straight in. I don't see that as a reflection of Potter not playing his new players, but I see the other two as. I think he might start one of those, and it might be the player I want to see start. I would go Potts, Fernandez, and Paqueta in midfield. The only reason I'm not saying Magassa is because I don't know anything about him. Right? I know I can see statistically what he's like. I can see where he's played and stuff like that. And I can appreciate that he should be at the base of my midfield. But I find it hard to have a desire to say that when I've never seen him play. But also there's a big difference. Fernandez, up until May, was playing Premier League football. And he's had not only a pre-season, he's been playing competitive matches for Southampton this season already. I don't know if that's the case for Magassa with Monaco. If I'm not wrong, he wasn't on the bench or anything in the weekend that just went by. He wasn't in the squad at all. And I don't think the French season's got underway yet. So I think in terms of fitness levels, I think Fernandez is there. He's ready. Not sure about Magassa. So that's why I'm not going to include him. But I will put Fernandez straight in here. And I think Potts gets his opportunity. Can't believe I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be adverse to Rodriguez there for this match. Now, I think Forrest will slaughter him with the pace, but I don't want to see James Ward-Prowse effectively. Paqueta picks himself, though. Right, that leaves our front three each, and I still think we're matching, but take it away.
Jared Bowen on the right, please.
Are you feeling okay?
I don't say please. I'm Graham Potter. Do as you're told, quite frankly. Nicholas Füllkrug as a striker, funnily enough, rather than someone else as a striker, and Magic Diouf on the left wing.
I agree. Important game for them.
Yeah. I have no way of proving this, and I wouldn't bet any money on it. But I loosely suspect if he loses this, he's done. There's so much pressure on the ownership now. And don't get me wrong. I think they don't care. They don't care what the fans think, but other stuff's happened in the mainstream media. So now there's a lot of focus on the ownership, and I think they don't want that. And I just think he's the easiest sacrificial lamb because he's not been very good either. So whilst the ownership have done all that stuff wrong, Potter has also been crap. And I keep seeing things, not less and less, to be fair, that he's a project manager and what he used to do well at Brighton. He's a million miles away from that. He's not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy, basically. You are you're at the London Stadium and under an ownership which has not had any infrastructure to build the squad into anything like a project type club. So yeah, I think he's struggling so much. I think he's easily discarded now, and I think if he loses against Forest, I think it will happen. So, and also, as I've mentioned on previous other ones, I'm not entirely sure he walks into any significant job after this. I think his reputation is completely damaged, not irreversibly, but he would have to build himself up from either back in Sweden or in the lower leagues again. So huge game for Potter, huge game.
I remain unconvinced. I think, listen, if we get hiding, yeah, okay. Get beat 5-0, I can see it. But if we get beat 1-0, 2-1, I'm not so sure they sack him. I still think he's here for the next bunch of games. I think the international break will get told he's got 3 games to turn it around. We're disappointed. We've got faith. And I think they'll point to the fact that we've now got new players in, and he only had an afternoon with them before the Nottingham Forest game. And that will be the reason we lost at Nottingham Forest. Not because we were crap against Chelsea and Sunderland as well. It'll be a case of, well, he didn't have a chance against Forest because we couldn't get the midfielders in time, etc., etc. So we're going to give him a handful of games with the new midfield to see what he can come up with, because the new midfield is important to him. It's important to the way that he plays. And if he gets it right, we'll improve, and the board will say, we've got faith in him doing this, so we're going to have a look at him and see what he does. I think that's what we'll get told. That's not to say what I want, just before people twist words. That's a prediction. Gonzo is predicting. I am predicting. But it's still an important one for him. I think it's an important one for the players as well. I think they're clearly starting to feel the pressure a little bit too. And if you're playing on Sunday, there's a good chance you're not leaving West Ham this summer. There's still a day left of the transfer window afterwards, of course. Anything can happen. But I think if you get to Sunday, what are you laughing at?
I just imagine if people say, "Don't pick me for the game, Gaffer." I got the old. Yeah, I can't. You can't select me, Gaffer.
Wouldn't surprise me, Gonzo.
Mm.
I would debate it. If I was Rodriguez and I wanted, and I don't know, I'm just assuming he wants out, considering he's been on the verge of leaving for about 3 months, right? But if you were a player wanting out and you've got 24 hours left of the window, you're in a game at the start of it. You're saying, leave me out of this one, mate. I'm not playing. You're crap. The club's crap. The fans ain't happy. I've signed the petition myself. I'm off.
I need to save me dodgy knees for the march.
Yeah. Steinberg put up an article about me telling people not to come.
I can't believe you betrayed me trust. Yeah.
I've been warning everyone not to come to this Porter cabin ground. I'd be saying, don't pick me. I'd be feigning any sort of injury I can to get out of it as well. So now I need to be right for my flight in medical. Thank you very much.
If Fernandez comes in and whoever has done it, so Matthias, I thought I told you. Oh, whoops, sorry, you know.
So I wouldn't be surprised there's 1 or 2 names missing from the team sheet on Sunday, and it might not be like a big hitter. It might be Rodriguez, it might be Andy Irving, but I think there might be a couple of players that's available to Potter today that's unavailable to Potter on Sunday morning, and it's likely to be the midfielders as a consequence of us signing Fernandez and Magassa. It's like, no, right now you can leave. So I think you might see that. So yeah, I think there might be a couple of some sick notes. Sorry, boss, can't come in today. The tube's delayed, missed it. Sorry. Yeah. Oh well, I'm sure you'll get on well without me or whatever. But I think it's an important game for everyone at the club. I think if we have a good end to the window, because as far as I'm concerned, business ain't done yet. If we get these 2 in, brilliant. It's still not enough. Yep. Let's see some more. But we can somehow win on Sunday and get another couple of signings in, whether it be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll have a calmer international break. We lose on Sunday and we do crap business. That's going to be a wild 2 weeks for everyone at that club. It's going to be unenjoyable. It's going to be really unenjoyable. Anyway, before I ask Gonzo if he thinks we're going to do it, I just want to point you in the direction of Hammers Chat Patreon. Patreon is what we call our 3rd YouTube channel. We create a lot of video content over there, and it's not just us as well. We've got guests over there as well. Babbling Irons produces a weekly podcast for us too. We've got the Overland and Seaward podcast, who Michael you'll recognise from doing fan cams over on the forum channel. He's on there every single week as well. So it's not just us two you have to put up with. But if you've watched Hamish Chat for a reasonable period of time, you decide what is reasonable. 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, some of you. Unbelievable. A decade of your life you've been watching us too. So not many, but 50. there's more people. I think there's more people that claim to be here since day one than there was in day one. Whenever I say there's people, I've been here since day one. I'm like, hang on, we only got 30 views.
You know what? It reminds me. My dad used to, going off on a tangent. My dad used to say to me, if I had £1 for every person that claimed to be in the blind beggar the night George Cornell got shot, he said, I'd be a very, very rich man. He said, I must have met over my life 2,000 people that claimed to be in the pub that night. Yes, it's true. Yes. Do you remember me phoning you up saying, Gio, we've hit 25 subscribers?
Yeah. That was exciting times. But anyway, if you've been watching us for a reasonable period of time, and you think, you know what, I'm going to support these boys. I'm going to help them keep doing Hamish Chat as a job. I like the content. The best way to do that is to go to patreon.com/Hamish Chat. Links in the description below and the pinned comment. So just Google it, Hamish Chat Patreon, and it'll pop up for you. Even if you're not sure, you can give it a go. We've got a 7-day free trial. You can go join up. You can enjoy the next week's worth of content, which will include a player ratings for this match on Monday morning, where we'll discuss every single player involved, plus Potter. I've got my opposition prediction where I'm trying to guess what Nuno's going to do and talking about Nottingham Forest in a bit more detail than we do in this video. A whole host of other stuff. And we've even got a podcast where we don't even discuss football. We discuss life, what's going on in life. Anyway, I probably not sold it to you, but go to patreon.com/Hamish Chat. If you could support us, it'd be very much appreciated, as it makes a significant difference. And if you took Patreon away, we wouldn't make as much videos we do on YouTube, and it's quite simple. It's as simple as that. Also, we've got the prediction competition for this game. Go over there, put in the score, correct scorer, sign prizes up for grabs. So we gave away over £8,000 worth of merchandise last season alone, and we'll be doing the same again this season. Anyway, thank you to everybody that does support us over there. Appreciate it. Gonzo, are you feeling? I think I can detect a little bit of more of a positive mood. We're having a bit of a laugh today, whereas the last couple of previews have been a bit miserable and stuff. But this one, while we're perhaps a bit more upbeat, doesn't necessarily mean we think we're going to win. But the signings have given us a little bit of a perk me up. The wood is rising, you could say. Are you feeling optimistic, or is it a little bit too late?
Well, maybe for this game, I mean, but from mighty oaks grow from small acorns, as you know, Gio, and you know we're seeing a little bit of that now. I think the reason I'm more pleased is I was worried at one point that we'd, as a club, completely given up. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not ideal because it's panic stations.
Yeah.
But make no mistake about it, I'd much prefer a panicked last few days where 4 players come in that are first team players than actually giving up. So, because I don't believe that Potter's going to be here long term. But as I've said, if we can get players in, so at least the next manager comes in, that he doesn't look at it and think, well, what can I do with this squad? That actually there's enough balance there. So if he wants to play with wingers, there's wingers there. If he wants to play with strikers, there's strikers there, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I've perked up slightly because of it. And Fernandez, Fernandez has been somebody that I've sort of wanted all throughout the transfer window. So I'm really, really pleased about that. And I suspect, particularly if we keep Paqueta, he'll enjoy playing football with Paqueta. It just gives us an extra layer of creativity and will allow us to create through the middle, which I think is important under whichever manager we have. Don't get me wrong, I think he'll improve Potter's team. I'm just not sure it will be enough for Potter himself, but under a better manager. So yeah, I'm a little bit more buoyed about that. A little bit too early though, and not enough. When I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a little bit too early for them to have an impact. Also, a little bit too late in the transfer window for us to be doing this stuff. So I don't think we can do anything about that because all that stuff we talked about, the creativity in the middle, well, Nottingham Forest have got that, and they got really good pace on the wings as well. I don't think we're quite good enough there, but I did look, and there was a couple of occasions, particularly against Brentford and against Palace, where I thought that you were able to get them a little bit wide, which is probably what you're going to want to do. You don't particularly put it in the air because they'll just clear it through the air. But if you're going to get at Palace, it's probably there. I'm not sure we got the players to do it particularly, so I think it's going to be hard. And the trouble is, Forest. Sorry, I said Palace. No, Forest. They can beat anyone on their day, and we can't beat anyone on our day at the moment. So I think that's a bit of an issue for us. So I do think it'll be slightly better, hopefully, but I think Forest win this 2-0.
Yeah, I'm not feeling optimistic because he may chuck both new signings in if they're signed in time. There's a possibility they're not even signed in time, but on the assumption they were, I'd be surprised if he starts both. I think he might start Fernandes, but if he does, I think a lot of my grievances will still be there, which is Bowen will still be the striker.
Yes.
He'll just be playing alongside Paqueta, and Fernandes will be in midfield with Ward-Prowse and Souček. So a lot of the issues, I think, will still be retained for Sunday. And the hope will be that during the international break, either we have a change of manager or the manager changes his system, one of the two. But I think it's just, they're just signed too late on in the week to have any big say. But even if they were signed earlier, like I said, I still think he would go with that anyway. I think even if they had a week with Fernandes and Magassa, I think what I've just said is the likeliest team that he will put out. I think he will still put that out. Because he will come away from Wolves thinking, oh, we were just a little bit unlucky. If only had a midfielder, we'd have won that game. Which I don't subscribe to, but I've seen quotes after games saying he was feeling positive and whatever. And I thought, well, bloody hell, no wonder the club's not putting any interviews up with you if that's what you're coming out with. But it's thinking, this is suicide. Don't be saying this stuff. So, no, I don't feel optimistic for this game. I don't feel as bad as I did 24 hours ago because of these new signings. And it's for the exact reasons Gonzo gave, which is, well, if he can't get these players to work, at least the new guys coming into a better midfield. Because essentially, Magassa and Fernandes is likely to be replacing Andy Irving and Guido Rodriguez. So forgive me for thinking that that's an improvement. And I think it's a big improvement as well. So the squad will be in a better place this time next week than it was this time last week. As for us, I think we'll be in a worse place. I'm going to say Nottingham Forest 3, and I'm going to be kind, West Ham 1. And that is me being generous, unfortunately. Anyway, Gonzo, anything you'd like to add before we disappear?
We're going to have to really be careful as with crosses on this one. Actually, I've spoken about us getting at them. They're set pieces. They look dangerous from set pieces as well. And they, you've got the big fella, Marinakis, whatever his name is, at the back, and you've got Wood. I'll say you've got Wood, not I've got Wood. Make that very, very clear. This is going to be a bit of an issue for us, particularly how poor we've been in the air. So yeah, we've had a laugh, and you need to, because you can't maintain this misery at West Ham. We can't sit here miserable every bloody day. We've got to try and find some glimmer of joy, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's a glimmer of hope. And I'm the same as you. Yeah, I'm enjoying the signings, enjoying having a chat to you about it, but not hopeful for the game, So yeah, but there you go. Onwards and upwards.
And thank you to you guys for joining us. Patreon links in description below if you fancy it or you're intrigued. If you've enjoyed this preview, though, please do drop a like on it by clicking the thumbs up button. Subscribe to Hammers Chat, myself and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.